Alrighty. Just going through some of the strange things in the manual here with this van. This might be a little bit hard to do, because I never seem to have a bloody flat surface and 5 hands to do these things. I was looking at the stuff here about the ignition. The locking system rather, like your theft alarm system. Note, if any door, tailgate or engine bonnet remains open, the system will not be armed. Yeah, or engine bonnet. Alarm stage. Oh, bugger this. The alarm will be activated if any of these certain things occur. The engine bonnet is opened. Some reason they've got like a switch underneath the hood, and it's treated almost as though it's another door lock to make sure your hood isn't opened. I'm not joking. It's all part of the theft alarm system, which, well, you know, probably doesn't work, and I really question even if the immobiliser works, considering some of the lights that are limped up. But they've got bizarre things where you got a limp home stage if your immobiliser's not working, but I have it blinking at the start, so I don't know. It probably, somebody locked it with the button, I suppose, and then they lost the damn button and they opened with the keys. But I'm not forced into the limp home mode because that is a shitstorm to do that. But I don't know, you sort of, like, you read this and it'll say, well, if this light blinks when you turn it on, that's fine. Another one will say if it blinks when it's turned on for any more than this time, it's buggered. If it comes on while you're driving, it's buggered. And it's like, so a lot of things blink when I first turn it on. Does that mean they're all buggered? Some it is, some it isn't. It's a bit of a confusing style of system. Now, that is what your little setup for your spare wheel looks like. Now, on the side there you can see one of the springs for the rear suspension, and your tailgate's basically up here, but you've got a little bolt that goes through there, and that little carriage, all just like you undo this nut that's up the top, and I think it'll be the same as a wheel nut, and all this little hook that holds this little frame will drop down, and bingo. And there's your potential for a under-car water tank. Yeah. Oh, now this is another strange feature. Oh, and these bloody things keep fucking bouncing around like shit. Fucking pages. Can't get anything to sit flat. Okay. The cooling fan is controlled by engine coolant temperature and may sometimes operate even, man, I've got this on the worst possible bloody angle, even when the engine is not running. That's what it's saying. The cooling fan is controlled by engine coolant temperature and may sometimes operate even when the engine is not running. That is crazy. So it's got 2 electric fans in the front, as a lot of vehicles do, on your radiator to suck air through with your radiator, but it says here that you can have the bloody engine not running and the fans may still randomly fire up. That is just bizarre. I noticed something with Fords, when you start those up, fairly often it'll kick the fan out. Like if you've been running and the engine's already warm, then you turn it off. And you go in, get something out of the house, do whatever, go wherever. But you come out only like 5 minutes later and you start it again, the first thing that will happen is the fans will be going flat knacker for like 30 seconds or so after you start the engine, just initially. and then they turn themselves off. That's a Ford thing. I think it may be just to, you know, get a bit of oxygen flowing and stuff like that, due to, you know, the fact it's probably let off quite a bit of heat since you've been sitting there the last 5 minutes. Anyways, I might show you guys a couple other little bits. It's one of my bookmarks there, involving some of the custom-made bits and pieces, but this is going to take me a minute or two just to cover all these blasted names and numbers and bullshit. And yeah, I got a lot of shit laying around with addresses and stuff on, so we could sort of do without that. Give me a second here. Alrighty, so this one here is the tow hitch, which I'm yet to get put on. There we go, $1,260 now. I had to put down a deposit of $200, and leaves me with a balance of $1,060. 4 to 6 week wait. There's my name at the top. There's a date. Man, days are ticking on since I yeah, we've still got a few more weeks left before that happens. So that's the tow hitch. Not cheap, not cheap. Some people get them $400 or $500, but you know, this is all custom made. I believe it's come from an actual place. They'll fit it, but it's actually fabricated by another place. So it's all welded together and measured out to suit the chassis at another place, and then, you know, they bolt it on type thing. I think this is all built so that you can still get out your spare tyre, which would be a logical friggin' conclusion, obviously. So anyway, I've got another one here. Just got to block a few bits here, and I should be able to show you. What the hell? I've got a customer number in a place that I've only been to once. How the fuck's that work? This one's alright. Okay, you're not going to see this without the... Jeez, you can barely see it as is. Sit flat, you bastard. Okay. Customer name, that would be me. $349. Yeah, and this is for Gemini Caravan in a spring. So that's basically the $350 mattress there. I know this is not great lighting. We've got this weird, look at the fucking temperature. Bloody near 95 Fahrenheit. It's 3 in the afternoon, and we've got fuck all light in here. And this camera was never great to begin with. And I've got another one. Let's see, those two. So that's all custom there. Hang on, I've got some other bullshit here. Oh, yes. Holy smoke, this is long. Oh, shit. I've got the credit card numbers on here as well. And yeah. Yep, might as well see this. Just won't go up too high here. Yep. $392 and $392. That's the what's his name? The roof rack. That PMX 152. That's the the code for the Trajet roof rack. Oh fuck! There's my phone number on this one. I'll show it to you again. This is a bit more faded, this one. There we go. Hyundai Trajet 392. There's everything on that one, including my fucking phone number. So, yeah, but that's basically the same docket. Because I paid a deposit and fucked around, and there's a final payment and a pickup and an initial bloody order and all this bullshit, that you end up with multiple. You end up with 3 of them. So that's obviously another custom one that they had to, 17-year-old vehicle, fuck all of them in the country. They, got to individually make that as well. Oh, and here's not a terribly big one, but I'll just cover the exact store it's coming from. Oh, you can see that quite easily. That's me, fuck over here. You can't really see it. Basically, that's the stove. $50 stove there. So anyway, that's the cost of some of these custom things. $50 stove, $392 roof rack, $349 mattress, $1,260 tow hitch, and before you know it, you're running up some real dollars. But you see, all you corporate slaves, all you ham and eggers, of which I happen to be one, when you want custom made, nothing is fucking cheap. A lot of these things, it's like there's one of these things where they have a certain amount in stock when these things are less than 10 years old, or they've got a certain amount of sales if they're the more common Fords and stuff. You can get these things fairly easily. Even some of the older 15-year-old Fords that, there's a number of them out there, you can get them easy. As soon as you've got low volume of sales, fuck all sold, they do this thing where they make each one individually. Now, that's been the case with the roof racks, and with the mattress, it was also the case, even though, that place probably makes quite a few. It's one of these things where you go in there, they tell you the price, you fall on the ground, you get up off the ground, you confirm you want the order, you give your phone number, you pay a deposit, and then they start making it, and then 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks later, you get your shit. And it's individually made because they just don't carry any in stock if they're not selling any. So they make them one at a time. Or if it's something that is just not a common model of, they just don't carry it as stock, and so they individually make them. Now, because it's not like, well, we're banging out thousands of these in China, or we're banging out thousands of these on a robotic production line, it's like, well, we need to exactly cut this aluminium the right size and do this and do that for this one car, and maybe 3 months' time we'll get another, or 6 months' time we'll get another, Hyundai Trajet 2000 and early 2000s model, of which there's fuck all, and even less people wanting to get roof racks on them type thing. And they might do one only every 6 months, so they sort of do them all individually. And then, well, I don't know if you call it custom made. I mean, the mattress they refer to as custom made in the catalogue, but a lot of these things are individually made, custom made just for your vehicle, because they don't actually carry any in stock, and that's when the dollars start cranking fucking big time. And I believe it's the same with the tow hitch. They've probably got to make that individually up to size, and then put on any little bits and bobs that they need to weld on, and paint the whole thing, and there you go. I'm going to get a few more things added on. I have actually got hold of a toolbox that is like basically the size of the width of the whole vehicle, with about 3 inches either side. I would love to put it on the van. I reckon every stupid prick would make a point of trying to break into it to find that I've essentially got nothing in there. I'm really questioning whether I need it, because I don't think I need to carry around 3 sleeping bags and a ton of blankets. you could fit a serious amount of stuff in there. I'm going to need a lot of modifications to that tow hitch to even get them to fit on. I have told them I will want modifications to it in the form of just bolts put on, and we can make the accessories and make sure we weld it all so the bolts can line up in place and everything like that. Yeah, I'm thinking a couple of jerry cans full of water and something to hold the spare tyre, and some sort of a rig that I can make up a little shower base that will swing off, but that's about it. The size of this box is bloody phenomenal, and I should have showed you, because it is literally, it's a toolbox. It's got dual points to lock it. It's professionally made. It's spot welded and stuff like that. And as I said, every bastard to be trying to cut the locks off it all the time, every time I'm in the supermarket, especially if I'm in White Trashville. And the thing is, though, it's, what is it again? 500 wide by 450 deep by fucking something crazy, like 1370 wide. You know, like, and honestly, like, it's like a fucking small coffin or something. It's that fucking big. It's phenomenal. And I could have got photos of it for you the other day, but I didn't have my phone on hand because my phone was charging at the time. But yeah, I'll be getting that, and I don't know what exactly, but you'll see it in due course, probably around my house somewhere. But there was suggestions that maybe I could cut it in half and use it on the van, and all these external toolboxes, especially ones that are really thin sheet metal with shitty padlocks on, oh man, you're fucking asking for people to try and bust them open to get stuff, you know. Hell, my father even had a sewing machine, still has a sewing machine from the 1920s, and back in the 1970s when they first bought this thing second hand, when he was young as, he wasn't even 30 years old, when my parents were first married, some arsehole broke in to the caravan / camper, stole a shotgun that was only about 3 or 4 weeks old. Like, this thing was fucking pristine, and he had like it was double barrel. One was a half choke fitting on it, and the other was a full choke fitting. And it was, I mean, it might have been 6 weeks old, but it was like fucking near new, basically. They stole that. They got a bit of money. But what the dickheads also done was he had this case that was a carry case with the sewing machine mounted in it. And they could have just pushed this little lock piece and it would flick open. Well, the dumb bastards forced it with a fucking jemmy bar, didn't they? Like a bunch of fucktards, even though it wasn't actually locked, and they could just press the little piece in the side and it would come open. So the fucking idiots went and broke the lock off, thinking they're going to get into the big gold bars or something, to find it's a sewing machine. Never mind the fact it had Singer written on the outside. Never mind the fact you just pushed the little bits in the side and it opened. You know, you got all these dodo white trash idiots who will fucking attack anything that's locked for no real reason. And some of the areas, not where I work, but not too far from my work, are known to be fairly dodgy areas. So I don't really think I need a painted target on that damn thing for people to go through and find I've got a couple of blankets in there and then leave them with the lid open and the rain pouring in winter to wet me fucking blankets. You become a target. It's bullshit, you know. And if they're going to go for a jerry can with water written on it, well, they're fucking stupid, you know. Go for it, you dumbasses. Go and attack the fucking can, like bottle of fucking water, which is essentially what it is. I'm hoping to get... Now, there's a certain tall plastic one that I don't have one, but my father's got one, and you can buy them like auto parts stores all over the damn place. And they're a sort of like an upright jerry can. It's a plastic one that's like your screw top one. And I'll try and get hold of 2 of those together, because I reckon they'd work good as a shower feed in, or just extra water in case my internal water tanks went empty. But you know, you get those and you write water on them, and you're likely that the dickheads won't try and steal them. And if they're that hard up for a container of water, well, fucking, they must be hard up. But anyway, that's Yeah, just a few of the custom-made things and bizarre features.